Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Guide Your Mind TV. I'm your host and your life coach, Kandace Stoneman. I'm a mindset mentor and a mental health advocate. I love giving people tips, tools, and strategies to change the way that they think and find that true inner happiness and emotional freedom I know we're all looking for. So today I have a very lovely guest, Miss Michelle Cooper, and we're going to talk about money mindset. And she's going to share with us 3 tips on how you can up-level the way you think about money. Whether you are that person that's saying, I'm always broke, or I can't afford it, or whatnot, coming from that place of lack, she's going to give us some tips on how we can have a more abundant mindset and really be in a place of attracting money, because hello, let's say we all want that, right? So let me introduce her. She's an accountant and a professional speaker and an author and truly a money rock star. I've seen the work she does. And she is the founder of her Facebook group, The Vault. What a wicked name, by the way. So yeah, we're going to dive into things and you can get to know her. And please, if you have any questions, now's a good time to get them answered. So here she is, Miss Michelle Cooper. Hello, hello, welcome.
Hello.
How are you today? Awesome. Thanks for being here today. I'm really excited that you are going to share with us your tips that you have. Here we go. Great. So let's just dive into things. Tell me, you have the label of money rock star and plus accountant, plus speaker and author. So many tell me in your own words, what does that all mean? What do you really do?
Right. So I have an accounting firm. We do accounting and bookkeeping for clients. I act as a CFO to a lot of clients. So I deal specifically with people who have a message. So these are creatives. They could be spiritual entrepreneurs. They could be authors, speakers, artists, photographers. They have some form of creative business, and they often don't understand the numbers part of their business. And so they also sit in the mindset often of starving artist, or I can't, right? Or I can't make money from my spirituality. So I feel really blessed to work with those people. In my work, I have come to know that if we change some of our beliefs around money, our mindset, our practices with money, then we attract more. And so I have now written a book and a couple of books. I really uncovered through my own personal work that shame has a big attachment to money. And I realized that while I was working with all these clients and making them a lot of money and knew these techniques myself, if I didn't uncover the root issue around the shame, whether that's a generational money story or it's financial transaction shame, if I didn't uncover that myself and with my clients, I could come up with like the most amazing financial growth strategy, and it just wouldn't work. I self-sabotaged myself, and I could see my clients self-sabotaging themselves. So I spent a couple of years doing a lot of research for my own self and how to get out of this, how to get out of this cycle of doing super awesome and then crashing, and doing super awesome and crashing. And through that work for my own business, my own personal financial situation, I was able to kind of put together the practices that I put into place. And so I know they work. So I'm a really firm believer in teach what you've learned. And I can stand behind what I'm advising my clients to do, which is important to me.
Absolutely. And, when you spoke about shame, when I first heard heard people talk about money mindset, I didn't really understand it until I dove into my own financial, what I have going on. And it's true. Like, there was a piece of shame that I was actually surprised that I felt shame, like, why didn't I invest in things sooner? Or why didn't I keep better track of my money, where I was spending it? Things like that. And I remember feeling ashamed and embarrassed. And so it's really interesting to think of money mindset. It was just a concept I had no idea of until I met, people like you and other people in the industry and in our circle here. And so it was really interesting to see what unraveled, and to catch yourself when you say that, oh, I'm broke, I can't, or I can't afford it. That's the mindset that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. And, I was really fortunate to be able to write be a contributing author with Women Rising, Chantal Adams' new book, where I got to focus specifically on shame and how specifically that is a self-sabotage. And I truly believe that unless, especially women, because men don't carry shame around in the same way, specifically women, if we don't get over that shame part of it, however it manifests out into your life, you will never have money. And if we don't have money, we cannot change the world. We can't change how things happen.
We can't do all those things that make us feel free and travel and go places and do things and meet people and buy things. And so can I ask you just, this is just something that came to my mind, is what else does that shame look like? Like, how does that show up besides, like, I'm broke, I can't, what does that look like?
It usually comes down to I'm not worthy, right? So I'm not worthy of money because I don't understand it, because I'm bad at math, because I am not worthy of love, success, or abundance, right? It comes down to I'm not enough, right? I'm not enough. I'm not showing up in the right way. I'm not showing up full enough. I'm not living in my highest purpose. And even though we may not be totally conscious of where that's come from or how it's affecting other areas of our lives, we can see very clearly, if you feel you're not worthy for money, when you do get it, you will get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And
it can be in your subconscious, right? Consciously, we all want your subconscious.
Everybody wants more money.
Yeah.
Right? There's nobody who doesn't want more money.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants the money, and people will get it, right? Through the hustle, through manifestation, through hard work, whatever it is, right? But if they feel that they're not worthy of the money, then they will get rid of it. So they will spend it right away. They will make some kind of bad decision. They'll get into debt, whatever happens. And then it's a cycle.
Yeah.
Right? You get the money, you get rid of it.
I think a lot of it is just like not being aware that you even have that unworthy, that not enough kind of feeling. Because I think on the forefront of their mind, they're thinking, heck yeah, I'm worthy of it. But on a deeper level, that's where that stems from, right?
Yeah, like this isn't surface work, right? It turns up a lot of crazy stuff that we wouldn't necessarily be willing to kind of say out loud normally.
Yeah.
Right.
I know when I did a little bit of my own work, I was surprised by it. And so until I did it, I didn't understand the shame you were talking about, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's hard, right? Because shame has a bad rap kind of thing, right? Like nobody wants to be sitting in shame.
No.
And it can be big or small, right? And it's funny because, I have some clients who have a lot of money, and even they have money, but they still feel some kind of shame around even having that money. Right. And it's like, oh, well, I just inherited it, or, it's just in my family. I don't really deserve it. I haven't done anything for it. Right. So there can be that kind of shame too. It doesn't have to be like, you know, I'm, you know, a loser and I don't deserve this kind of thing, right? Like it can be that you have money and you still feel that it just happened to find you.
That's such a good point. Like there's no set money story. You know, there's no set way of, so.
There's a lot of stories.
Yeah, definitely. I would love for you to share with our viewers your own story of how you got into this work.
So I went through university, became an accountant, and started working around the world for different businesses, entrepreneurs, anywhere from like really kind of small entrepreneurs to as big as Citibank kind of thing. And I was really fortunate to work all over the place and had amazing jobs and incredible mentors that taught me all sorts of things. And through that education and learning and work experience, I was really blessed to see awesome strategic growth strategies. And I found that I could apply those strategies to smaller businesses who weren't necessarily privy to that kind of information, right? It's not just like out there for you to find, right? And so I began working with clients, and then I realized, there's the whole mindset behind this as well. It's not just the strategy. Mm-hmm. There's the mindset work, and there's the personal work as well that goes into it. So I feel the people that I see, the clients I see the best results in combine all three.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, I think in the financial world, they don't talk about the personal development, the mindset behind money. They'll just say, okay, this is the strategy. But what you say about you can set somebody up and they can have all this success, but if they don't have the mindset to manage it, they're going to be right back in their old pattern of spending it all or blowing it or being in debt or whatnot, right? Until they really establish a healthy mindset.
Yeah, and getting rid of those limiting beliefs, right? And uncovering them and changing them and uncovering maybe some generational money stories that, kind of linger that you just carry forward, right? Without even realizing.
Yeah. What would be an example of that generational?
Oh my God. I have to work really hard for money.
That's a really prominent one, isn't it? Especially.
Yeah, it's a huge one. Anybody who comes from a workaholic parent or a parent who physically worked hard, right? So that was one of mine. My family are commercial fishermen, and you had to like physically work super hard to get money. Right. And so that's what I thought, right? Like I just carried that forward, and it was like, okay, if I'm not working hard, I don't deserve this money. So when I went out into my career and this, numbers came natural to me, it wasn't hard work. So in my subconscious mind, I was saying, well, this isn't hard work, so I should be working harder, right? So I'd work longer hours to justify that good paycheck, right?
It's so interesting.
Yeah, right? And then I was like, oh, okay, that's why, right? It came down to that. And, with my generational story was also like the feast or famine, right? Like for my family, it was, commercial fishing season had a ton of money and then there's nothing. And then a ton of money and then there's nothing, right? And I saw that I carried that forward. As soon as I had a great job making a lot of money, I would quit, right? Or I would get like something else would spark my interest, right? So I had an amazing job working at Citibank, earning a ton of money, and I left it. I walked away from it and went and taught English for like nothing, right? So I saw that I was carrying forward these stories like unconsciously, right? And that's what people do.
I think unconsciously is the key word until you have somebody like you to sit down with you and really uncover them. I think a lot of it is just unconscious and you don't even know what you're thinking, but
You don't.
very interesting once I've done some of the work I catch myself and I'll say, oh, I can't afford that. And then I'm like, no. Ooh,
right?
I wonder if there's a way for that. I'll reword it so that the vibration I'm offering to the universe is in a positive way.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting stuff. And so you had some tips for us today, didn't you?
Yeah. I wrote some notes, so I stayed on topic.
That always.
The first one that's pretty simple is just what you described around catching your language, right? So catching the language that you use, but also the language that people around you are using. So I found when I started, going further into this and kind of living my example kind of thing, I would catch myself with the I can't afford it. Oh, I don't have enough money for that. The language around money and also the language the people around me were saying. So there were certain people that I had to say, and this is usually people's family, right? Because you can't get rid of your family, right? So I'd have to say, you know what? I don't use that language about money, right? And like, I remember my brother saying to me, what are you talking about? Right? Like it's a swear word or something, right? And I was like, I just don't use language that is in lack or fear or scarcity.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that, right? So if you're going to use that language, then it's like swearing. You might as well leave because I'm not going to have that conversation, right? And then noticing that language within my circle, right? So a great example of this is the term give back. So when we use, everybody loves that term, right? Give back. So meaning I'm giving back to charity, I'm giving back to a cause. But to give back means you took something to start with, right? So really, you didn't take anything. You didn't take money from, if you're talking about giving back to the Terry Fox Foundation, right? Well, you didn't take anything from the Terry Fox Foundation, so you have nothing to give back, right? And you didn't take money from the universe, so you have nothing to give back, right? So just removing the word back and say giving is enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's, I think when people understand that every word offers a vibration, love, hate, hope, joy, these all feel good. You feel it in your body. And when you hear words like hate, awful, terrible, that offers a lower vibration. And so, I think that's the point that I get from when I hear that is when you are using words that like give back, that vibration is lowering your money attraction abilities, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And even saying, I can't afford it. Well, you could say, I don't have the money yet. Right. So like just adding yet onto the sentence, right? Not so much I can't. It's, I have yet to get the money for that.
Yeah.
Because it's coming, right?
And just wondering if there's a way,
being curious.
I wonder what I can do to find a way, or, just saying it that way, it has so much more of a flow, an attraction point. When you say I can't or I don't, I think it's limiting you.
Yeah. Like I tend to say like, well, how could I, if there's something I want to go to and I don't feel like there isn't actually a cash balance in my account that I could use to to buy that ticket to that event, right? So like, I'd love to go see Tony Robbins. Do I have the $5,000? No. Right? So getting curious, how could I get there? Right? What connections could I make that could support me getting there? What do I need to do? What clients do I need to call in? What program do I need to launch? Like figuring this stuff out, right? It's co-creating your money with your intention and your priority, and obviously the universe.
Yeah, I love it. It makes so much sense. And I know when people hear universe and money, they might not have dove into what that looks like and explored that quite yet. But the first step for sure is catch yourself when you're saying, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, and just notice and reframe it to, oh, I wonder if there's a way, or what can I do to get this, or just to
totally
that, right? Awesome.
Yeah. And so then I guess number 2 would be who you are surrounding yourself with. Right? So these are like things that you actually have control over, right? You have the control over the words that come out of your mouth, and you have control over who you spend time with and what you read and what you expose yourself on social media to, and the circles that you sit in, right? So, if you're, I don't know, it's like if you're a drug addict, you don't go and sit in a crack house kind of thing, right? Like, if you are wanting to live a more abundant lifestyle and a more fulfilled life, then you need to surround yourself with people who are doing that. Because they're going to raise your vibration up to that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I've said this time and time again, and I'm sure you've heard it lots too, is we tend to become the top 5 people we spend the most time with. And you ever have a friend and you guys have like the same laugh, or you say the same thing? I think that is just evidence right there of, how we kind of become each other in a way. They will average out to the top 5 people we spend the most time with. I've heard that time and time again. So if you're hanging around people who are always broke, always can't afford it, always, grumping about what's going on in their bank account, then I think we'll kind of slide into that role as well.
Absolutely. We kind of co-opt the language and the thoughts and the actions of the people around us, right?
Unknowingly.
And at the same time, ensuring that the people you're surrounding yourself with are in alignment with you and your priorities and sit in the same kind of integrity as you, right? We live in a world where there's the filters and there's the, the crazy 7-figure launch and all this kind of jazz, right? And just ensuring that the people that you are connecting with and you are taking into your inner circle are really in alignment with you, because there's a bunch of people out there who aren't. I know. But there's a whole bunch of people who are. So just a little bit more work than superficial, taking people for what it's like that FOMO thing, right? Like everybody looks like they have, the most amazing family life going, but everybody's really just a family struggling with everything that we all struggle with. So same thing with money.
Family has their dynamic. Everybody has their dynamic with money. And I think it's, it's that consciousness about it is what we're talking about today, right? A lot of it is just unconscious. We don't even know. So I love that we're bringing this to the surface for, maybe it's the first time somebody's heard about money mindset or the consciousness behind it, but I think it's just a fascinating topic.
Yeah, it is. And then probably the last kind of tip, which kind of wraps it all together, is being very conscious of your beliefs around money and consciously steering your beliefs. So our beliefs come from our perception plus the evidence we see plus over time it's proven to us, right? And that equals a belief. And so, if our perception is that there's not enough money, we'll never have money, and we see the evidence as the lack of money in our bank account, and this has been going on for, a lot of years, then we believe we'll never have any money, right? Whereas if we can identify that and then actually consciously change the belief, it's like the foundation of your relationship with money will change, right? So switching that belief around, right? Like, what is the complete opposite of that belief? If you think you'll never have money, the opposite is, I'll have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And then figuring out some evidence towards that, and over time you will see it unfold, and that will change your belief.
I love that. One thing I've done is I try to, keep reminding myself money is always flowing to me. And it is, and I'll leave money in my cup holder, or I'll leave money in my pocket of my coat, or money in the side pocket of my purse, or money on my nightstand. And that makes that statement really, really true, because money is all around me. Money is always flowing to me. And, I've learned to, when I pay my bills, I say, thank you. Thank you for the electricity, even though you're goddamn expensive. but to thank you for the electricity, and thank you for my cell phone, even though it's an expensive bill too. All the people I got to connect with. And so it's putting that positive vibration on money in every aspect, right? It's thanking it for allowing me to buy groceries. Right?
Yeah, because when we can identify our limiting beliefs, then we can fix them with forgiveness and gratitude, right? So obviously, like for me, forgiveness is a key into solving shame, but then gratitude is an everyday thing.
Yes.
And when you really sit in gratitude every day, it's the vibration just like expands, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like a magnet. It just attracts more.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how true that is for me. And I know you know that, because I know we're fairly in alignment with our belief on that. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating. An evidence log is such a fun, tangible thing you can do, is write things down. I've done this, an evidence log, whether it's with money or whatever, but just any inkling of evidence of you attracting, or of you going in the right direction of what you truly desire, write it down. Like, somebody said this to me today, or somebody offered this to me today, or I found $5 on the ground. Any evidence of attracting something, or attaining what you truly want. I love the evidence log. It's such a good little piece of homework if anybody's interested.
Oh, I love that term. That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't come up with it, but it definitely, and then I will try to write a whole page of positive aspects of how it's coming, like this Vegas thing, that just, I can't even believe I'm going to Vegas and Michelle's going to be there. I couldn't believe all the things that have come together for that to pan out. And I feel like because of my mindset, I really do. Yeah. Like,
I can look at that as an example, right? So the idea comes, and, I'm talking to a friend about, I'm talking to Marlo, we're talking about Vegas. Oh yeah, we could do this. Talking to Joy. Oh, this would be a good time. Da, 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 right? And then just letting it sit there, right? Didn't do anything, got busy with stuff, but kept thinking about it in the back of my head, right? And then it's funny because Marlo was in Vegas last week, and she's like FaceTiming me with Vegas shots, right? She's like, we need to come, we need to do this, right? And so then being active in my thoughts around it, and saying, I would like to do this. How is it going to show up?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, everything falls into place, right? It's like a puzzle, right? And then all these other people that I know are going. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be like the most gigantic, I don't know, sleepover ever.
So
right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, that all worked out. That was good.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Awesome. So I see we have quite a few viewers on at the moment. If you guys have any questions for Michelle, please post them. She is able to answer them. And if you don't have a chance, don't have time to do that, you can always reach out to her afterwards as well. I know she'd be more than happy to chat with you about anything. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap things up there, Michelle?
I would just say, obviously, if you want to go further in this kind of thing, I talk about this stuff in my Facebook group, The Vault, and I talk about it on my own personal Facebook page a lot. So it's a very holistic approach to money, and it's multifaceted. So it's a conversation that is really important in our world today. And I really strongly believe that good people with money will change our world. And our world can obviously use some changing right now. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm happy to help with questions, anything, no problem, at any time.
That's great. So Michelle's website, I'm just posting it here, michellebcooper.com. And I think your email is michelle@michellebcooper.com. Is that right?
It is, yeah.
Perfect. And if you don't have a pen to write any of that down, just shoot me a message. I'll get you in touch with her. And awesome. I so love this conversation, and I'm grateful that I have you in my life and to refresh and remind and teach me new things. Because I remember the first time I heard you talking, I was like, what is she talking about? Money mindset. Like, money's money. What do you mean?
That's awesome.
You know, like, what's she talking about shame for? And then that's the shame she's talking about. I should have bought things when I was, 20 instead of now.
Right.
Or whatever your story is. Talking about this story is pretty fascinating too. I know you have in your Facebook group in The Vault how you run little challenges and things, and people post videos of the shame that they felt, and it was really interesting. I could relate with some of their stories, and
there's some really powerful stories in there, and it's a very safe place, right? So it's judgment free, and it is a safe place to share and get support.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I'd love for you guys to say hi if you're on the replay or if you are watching live. I see there's all these viewers and I can't see who they are, so I'm so curious.
I know. I'm like, who are all these people?
I know. Say hi. Don't make me be in suspense for the rest of my life. Oh, great. Well, Michelle, it was so fabulous having you here, and I thank you. And I know you've probably just scratched the surface with the work that you do, but I think it's a really great conversation to start with, and I look forward to having more of these conversations. And if anyone wants to ask me or talk to me about what they've noticed about their language or at any time, please do. Oh, yay, we're seeing the highs come in.
I'm seeing the highs now.
That's so good. Oh, hello, everybody. Oh, yay. That's so exciting. Thank you. You guys made my day.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's great. Sweet. Well, thank you again. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Please like it. Please share it. I know you might know this information, but there might be somebody on your Facebook that doesn't. And this is a good way for a good little preview of money mindset. So anyway, we will keep you over and out. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michelle. Really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Yes, lovely. Okay, bye everybody. Mwah.